me in my classroom on a Saturday, and you're probably wondering why, because most teachers, like myself, don't believe in coming to work on the weekend. But let me tell you why. If you're a Tennessee teacher, you know why I'm here, because I'm sitting in front of my classroom library on a Saturday because
You see how pissed she is about it being a Saturday? I mean, get over your, like, these... I've done other videos about these teachers where they are so pissed if they have to do anything that's not in the exact hours of school time. And it's like, what are you talking about? You have summers off already. When school's in session, you should basically be on call 24/7. I mean, if you're going to take the summers off, at least work when you're in school. Is that too much to ask? But the narcissism, these people are crazy. They don't know what it's like to actually work a job. There was one woman in one of the TikTok teacher videos that I did that made this whole video about filming the moon. And she was like, you should never be getting off work when the moon is out. Can you see that? The moon is out. Not when you're a teacher. You should never be working at night. And it's like, wow, you really have never had another job, have you? Because everybody else is looking at you going, man, you entitled narcissistic piece of shit.
Tennessee General Assembly passed a law that basically says, get this, if a teacher wants his or her students to read any of the books at school or in the teacher's classroom.
Says, I can't, basically says, I can't believe she didn't say, which like literally says.
The teacher has to catalog every single book. So most teachers have hundreds of books, some I would say thousands.
Okay, lady, you are not very smart. Thousands of books in one classroom, a teacher? No, you can go straight to hell with that one. This woman is not very bright, but hey, she's a teacher. She doesn't have to be.
Of books, they have to catalog all of them. So the title, the author. Once they catalog them, they send them to their class or their school library.
And you know what I remember from school, generally the only classrooms that actually have books in the classroom are like little kids, which you can clearly see like from her classroom is obviously some kind of elementary school. Because I mean that doesn't exist when you get into the higher grades. I mean, there's a library, you know, you don't have books in there, but it's all the more important if it's young kids to make sure that they know what books are there and the parents approve of them. You know, why is this just so outlandish to her? She just can't believe it. This is crazy. I have to catalog all my books. But you didn't have that done already? Have you ever been to a library, woman?
Librarian. The librarian has a list of books that are approved or not approved based on, I don't even know what, honestly. And
that does not surprise me in the slightest, that you do not know what constitutes an appropriate book and what doesn't. That does not surprise me at all.
Then from that list, the ones that are approved, she's like, okay, these are approved. So I have to go through all these books and then pull out the ones that are not approved. And then from the list that wasn't approved that she didn't have, she sends that to someone higher up. And then I'm assuming that it's probably someone that's never even been in a classroom, that's never taught children. But that's neither here nor there. So they get the list, and then they go through the...
You know, all these things that she's like, I don't even know what, blah, blah, blah. Very, very easy to find out this information. And you're a teacher, I would suggest that, you know, that maybe you should have already known this. This is something that you should just be aware of as a teacher.
The list of books that she didn't have, and then they determine whether these books are appropriate, not appropriate, whether they're approved or not, and then they send that.
And it's on a Saturday. Oh my gosh. You know how she's like drawing this out like it's the craziest thing ever, like it's this long process. I can explain what she has to do in one sentence. Okay? You ready? This is it. She's been talking about this for like 4 minutes now. All she has to do, write down the names of her books that she has, send them to the library, and they check to see if they are allowed. That's it. That's all she has to do. And on a Saturday, like, oh my gosh.
That back. And then, so I have to go through all the books again, take out the ones that are not approved, either by the librarian or whomever. And then after that, after I do all that, then I have to post that list online
all of that
for my parents to see.
All of that. Can you believe? That's so much stuff. Do you understand how much work that is? Writing stuff down, giving it to somebody. Man. Teachers have never had to do anything like this before. This is fascist, is actually what this is.
In case they want to chime in about the books that are in my classroom. And then after that, the kids can start reading the books. And
it took her over 2 minutes to explain that, as if it was just, oh my gosh, how cumbersome this is. And it's just, can you believe this? And on a Saturday, oh God, no. A teacher should never have to work on a Saturday.
So, I'm a teacher in Florida. And if you don't know, the Florida legislature and Governor Ron DeSantis passed a bill recently that affects essentially all aspects of our jobs.
Oh no. I could tell this is going to be terrible. This is going to be bad, man. Oh, you know how I know? It's because she did that thing that all of these lefties do. That's when you know that they're about to drop some real knowledge on your ass.
Things that I am not allowed to do anymore, according to our school district, because of these bills. Number one, I cannot have any book in my classroom that has not been expressly approved by the district.
Can you believe that? She can't have a book in her class that hasn't been approved. Dude, this is it. We have become Nazi Germany. This is it. The West has fallen, replaced with the Third Reich.
I'm a history teacher. I keep a lot of things in my classroom that help influence my instruction. That's not the textbook, but now I'm not allowed to do that.
No, actually, you are allowed to do that. You even said it. You just have to make sure that it's approved. You are allowed to do that. You just have to tell them what the books are. It's not that hard.
Number two, if a student wants to have any kind of after-school activity, they have to have explicit permission for that specific activity. This really does limit.
I can't believe that they didn't they didn't require that already.
I understand wanting to know where your children are, but this is going to put kids in danger. I can more about later. If a student tells me that they want to go by a different name or use pronouns that are not related to their biological gender or their biological sex,
Get it right. Get it right. This is very important.
have to alert guidance, and then they have to alert the parents and get explicit permission for that to happen. If a student tells me that they are not straight, I have to tell their parents.
These teachers are just so shocked that parents would like basic status updates about the well-being of their child. It's like this has never occurred to them. Maybe they just all had shit parents and they don't understand that sometimes a parent would like to know basic things about what the child is learning in school. I know, it's wild. It's wild. And would like to make sure that things like, Genderqueer, the book that I showed that's available to like 6th graders, elementary school kids, but when I showed it, it got my video age restricted because it's like pornography. And I blurred it out and I still got age restricted. Yeah, it's those kinds of things that the parents would like, to be aware of. But, this is crazy.
We have been instructed that if the student is fearful of their parents' reactions, that we are to call DCF, which is Department of Children and Families. This feels like we're living in like a fascist police state.
Told you. I called it. This is the Third Reich. This is literally Nazi shit, man. This is like literally the literal Nazis. Literal fascism. Literally.
I'm worried for the health, the safety, and the well-being of my students because teachers are going to follow this.
Well, yeah, teachers are going to follow this if they want to keep their jobs. What does that mean? Teachers are going to follow this. Can you believe it? Well, yeah, or they get fired. So, yeah, I would say so. I'd say that it's doing its job, actually.
Going to make a point to follow this in this district. And children are going to be harmed. It's a specific...
Children are going to be harmed. They're going to be harmed. That's always their claim, isn't it? That people are going to literally die because of this. This is what's going to happen. We are literally living in the Handmaid's Tale.
Specific target of the LGBTQ population. But here's the deal, okay? Not every student has supportive parents. And so my main issue that I have with all of these rules is that now I am being forced.
I'm sure McDonald's employees already know her very well. Fish. McDonald's is probably... Oh, believe me. I'm pretty sure they know her pretty well. And yeah, that freeze frame is not doing her any favors.
To out students to their parents. That is not my job. That's not. Everyone's like, well, why are kids talking to you about their sexuality? A lot of students confide in their teachers. That's just the reality. We're with them for 8 hours a day.
Yes, you are with them for 8 hours a day. That's why parents want to know what the hell you're doing. How is this so hard to understand?
5 days a week. I see them so frequently. They get comfortable and they want to talk to me. They want to ask opinions, and that's...
I knew I would find a way to guilt you into another super chat, Fish. I appreciate it.
Just kind of part of being a high school teacher. As far as the classroom or the activity, like permission slip that everyone's so concerned about, we've never had to do that before, which is why for us, it's kind of a jarring thing.
Super jarring to have the kids take permission slips home to get permission to do things that are extracurricular. When did they stop doing that? That's what I want to know. Everything when I was in school, you had to have a permission slip signed to do. Everything. When did they get rid of that? I'm guessing it was somewhere around the same time when teachers started saying, "Hi, I am Mix Johnson. I have sex with these types of genitalia. Don't tell your parents."
I have never once had to have a permission slip to allow a student to join an organization that I sponsor. Ever. What this does is it essentially forces students who have really strict conservative homophobic parents, I'm not saying all conservatives are homophobic, just to not join organizations that may allow them a safe place to exist in their own sexuality and gender. We have to...
Well, thank you for not saying that all conservatives are homophobic. That's generous of you. I mean, we know that's what you that's what you mean. That's what you believe. That's what you believe. But, thanks for throwing me a bone. I appreciate that.
Tons of LGBTQ presenting organizations on different campuses all around the country. And students joined those because they need a safe place. And now they might not be able to. At the end of the day, I would love all of my students to have safe and supported home lives. But that's not the reality. And I really want my kids, regardless of their background, to feel safe in my class.
See, this is one thing that I've brought up before, is that teachers have always referred to their classroom, as like what my kids, like they've always done that. But it's only become creepy in like the last 5 to 6 years. It didn't used to be creepy because you knew what they were talking about. Yeah, my class of kids, my kids. But then it's the way that these people talk, it makes it creepy. Where like they actually feel possessive over the children. They feel that they are the parents. It's like they, look at me. I am the parent now. They really believe that. They're like, I wish that all kids had supportive families, but they don't. So I am the parent now. They are my kids. Mine.
Class. And if that means that they want me to call them a different name and use a different I'm going to do it. Because it makes them feel safe and supported and respected. It's just, I don't understand what's hard to understand. I don't want to out my kids.
This wasn't a problem 10 years ago. That's what the problem is. Don't you see what's happening? It's like that. There was one teacher who said that she was so happy to find out that all of her kids had come out to her as some kind of LGBTQ. And she was just so happy that they were able to do that. And they did it after she told them that she was this, and she wanted to make sure that it was safe. And, and these are little kids. So, of course, when they see that that's what their teacher wants, they all do it. They all said it. And she didn't think there was anything wrong with that. She genuinely believed that all of these kids were LGBTQ, all of them. And it's like, how do you not see this?
That's it. That's the bottom line. I don't want to out my kids. If you have a problem with that, we should have a different conversation.
No, actually, since this is what you want to do, you now get fired. You get fired. You just explained that you know that this is the law and this is what you're required to do. And you said, well, I'm just not going to do it. And then you make this face. Like, really? All right, it's time for reality to smack you in the face. Get fired. Cool. I'm glad you feel that way. So the unemployment office is over there. So you're going to have to go find something because you no longer work here. You knew what the rules were and you didn't care. This is yet another case of have TikTok get fired.